Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for 1 year. This is video 346 and I hope you guys are doing awesome. I had an awesome subscriber ask me to do a video on Bashar's 5-step formula. I love Bashar. I have known about him for about 6 years and been studying him ever since I found out about him, and he's like the best therapist ever. So I use some of his stuff weaved into my sessions at times, unknowingly. I just kind of do it. That's just how I speak now. So I wanted to share with you guys what his 5-step formula is. To me, it's creating a great quality of life is through his formula. And if you don't know who Bashar is, check him out, Bashar. And he is an extraterrestrial that is channeled through a man named Daryl Anka. And so just check them out. He even said himself, I heard him say in a video the other day, that he's like, I don't even know if Bashar is real, but what comes through me and the teachings seem to help a lot of people. So that's where we're going to go with all this. Just like I say on my channel, I know nothing. I just share what has worked for me, what's helped me. And that's all I want to do on here, is just share the things that have helped me so much. Because throughout the last few years, I've weaved in Wayne Dyer, Joe Dispenza, Esther Hicks, Neville Goddard, and Bashar, and there's been countless others too. But those are like the main ones that I've just identified with the most. And I just love all their teachings, and they all kind of say the same thing, just in a lot of different ways. And so that's kind of what I want to come up with, is my own way of teaching all of their teachings in my own way. So this video is going to help you with anything in your life that you're having trouble with. And remember that everything is neutral. So you give meaning to whatever's going on. So we can say this is a struggle or this is easy. You get to decide how you look at things. And when you look at things in a different way, they change. Your perception changes. So let's go through his 5-step formula, which has helped me tremendously and helped a lot of other people. And we might have to do a few videos on these to go more in depth, but this is the 5-step formula. Basically, you're going to act on, number one is you're going to act on your highest excitement, your passion, whatever is most exciting to you in the moment. And you're going to do that in every moment that you can. Number two is do this to the best of your ability and take it as far as you can go until you cannot take it any farther. Number three is act on your excitement and passion with absolutely no insistence or assumption of any expectation of what the outcome should be. Number four is choose to remain in a positive state regardless of what happens. And number five is constantly investigate your belief systems. Release and replace the unpreferred beliefs, fear-based beliefs, and the beliefs not in alignment with who you prefer to be. So that's it in a nutshell. There's many ways to say that, but it's basically act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability with no assumption or insistence of any outcome. And that's it. And so that has helped me so much. I can't even tell you. So number one is act on your excitement and your passion. So he has said many times, this doesn't mean you're jumping up and down excited about something. It just means, like I've said in other videos, you might be inspired to do something. It could be you just want to go for a walk. Like last week, I was inspired to start doing 75 hard. That came out of nowhere. I thought about doing it weeks ago, but it just came to me to do it. And I was like, I'm going to do this. So, and then it has subsequently created some different types of feelings inside of myself, making me look at myself differently. It's making me feel better in certain ways, feel different in certain ways. And then I've gotten some ideas while I'm doing the second workout of the day that I wouldn't have had if I wouldn't have been outside in nature doing this second workout. So you never know where it's going to take you, but you want to act on it. Whatever it is that, if you have a list, Esther Hicks would call it the Swiss cheese method, where I've done this with clients that are overwhelmed. So it's like you basically take a piece of paper, you make a bunch of circles on it, and you put all your tasks in the circle. And then you look at the whole thing and you say, which one of these sounds the most exciting to do right now, or the most fun to do, or the easiest to do, whatever you feel the most inspired to do. And then you cross that off and you go to the next one. So it kind of puts everything right in front of you. But that's kind of how this is. It's like you pick the thing that, feels the most exciting in that moment for you to do, or the most fun, or the most satisfying, or whatever it is. Or I like to pick things that I can get done quickly, and then I save the larger tasks for, later, or I'll be doing a couple things at once. So, and that makes me feel good to complete smaller tasks so I can put all my energy into the bigger tasks. So everybody's so different in how they operate. But what it does is it inspires you to take the next stepping stone. So you want to look at like, what's my next stepping stone? And you're going to do this to the best of your ability, and you take it as far as you can until you can't take it any farther. So like you can only clean out a drawer so much. Your drawer's cleaned out and you're like, okay, I can't take it any further. And the next step is act on your excitement with absolutely, this is the key, no insistence or assumption or expectation of what the outcome would be. So don't attach anything to it. Just say, this is what I feel like doing. And this is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to enjoy it while I'm doing it. That's how I look at it. I'm like, I don't need to know what's going to happen afterwards. I don't need to know why I'm doing this or anything. I'm just going to have no insistence of what's going to happen afterwards, only that I know that this is a stepping stone leading me to my next stepping stone. And this is how I live my life now. And it has helped me tremendously to not have anxiety anymore, and just to go with the flow of things. But I really do think of it in terms of stepping stones. I'm like, each little task each day is a stepping stone. So I'm like, I wonder how many stepping stones I'm going to have today that I get to walk along and flow with. And it's just made life so much more fun. And then, so yeah, that's the big one. Like, do things with no expectation of an outcome. Back to that for a second too. It's like, always be loving and kind. Always be your true self, no matter what you're going to get after you do that thing. So as far as reciprocity goes, don't expect reciprocity. Be yourself. Don't say, well, I'm not going to do that because that person doesn't, this person doesn't text me back, so I'm not going to text them back. Don't be like everybody else. Be like yourself. That's where I go to. I'm like, I'm going to be myself no matter what. I'm not going to do something to make somebody else happy like I used to do. Don't be that people pleaser. Please yourself. And you please yourself by being yourself. So you don't want to let other people tell you who you're going to be. You want to tell yourself who you're going to be. So then choose to remain in a positive state regardless of what happens. This is also a practice. This is a huge practice, because when something irritating happens, how do you remain in a positive state? Well, to me, it's like, I just tell myself, this is happening, and then we bring Neville into this. This is happening for my benefit. Everything is happening for my benefit. There's always going to be a gift and a gem that I can pull out of this. So even if it looks like it's the opposite of what's happening, I trust in my vision. And I know that it's going to lead me to the next step. So it doesn't matter what it looks like. Everything always works out for me. And that's what I tell myself. And the more you tell yourself that, the more you'll actually believe it. And like I said, I have a very irritating thing going on in my life right now that is, it's going to be a chronic issue for probably a month or two. And I'm like, okay, this happened right as I made a certain decision. This happened. And so it's just, I'm navigating, and I'm just like, okay, this is a stepping stone to something bigger, because it relates so much to the decision that I made that I'm like, okay, I'm outgrowing a broken system in some way, or I've just outgrown this certain area of life. So this is where I'm going now. And that is how I choose to look at it versus letting it take me down. So that's the, choose to remain in a positive state regardless of what happens. That's step number 4. So we got to follow this. And then step number 5 is constantly investigate your belief systems. So you want to figure out, what do I believe? And do I prefer to believe that, or do I prefer to believe something else? And then you just kind of examine your belief systems. So this is a lot of what I talk about in videos. I just don't maybe say Bashar always. I know sometimes I say Bashar, but yeah, I just weave a lot of this into my life, and I love to talk about this stuff. So it's funny because I could say I suffer from like too many ideas-itis or something. Like I have, I've called myself psychotic before with all the notes I have. Like it is disgusting. It is so many notes, and I want to go in there so bad, but it's so much. And so this actually, thank you, subscriber, for asking me to do this, because I was just thinking about this the other day, how I wanted to dig into more Bashar stuff because I've been listening to him quite a bit lately. And so this is going to be such a great, like, this is what they would call framework. He calls it the formula. This is a framework, like a step 5 or 5-step framework for life to follow. Like, this is such a great teaching to just apply to your own life and practice it, because each one of these steps is definitely, it requires some intuition and some getting to know who you are and what you are and who you want to become. And it can help you achieve goals. It can help you manifest anything you want. I mean, this is it right here. And I just think that this gives you a good quality of life too. When we have no expectation, no attachment, no insistence on some sort of outcome, just be yourself and follow what excites you and lights you up. I like to say what lights you up. It's like, what really lights you up? And try to figure that out. And it could just be like how I've trained myself to get excited to even get out of bed. I'm doing probably most boring things to some people, but to me, I've just been like, man, I'm excited to get up and do these tasks and drink my coffee and do my meditation and do my workout. Like, I get excited about laundry like that. I'm weird like that, but I've had to train myself. But I also have looked at everything like, I'm so thankful that I can even get up out of bed and walk out of bed. Some people can't get out of bed. They need help to get out of bed, or they're in a wheelchair. I could actually get up out of bed and walk with my 2 legs and feet out of the bed. And so we got to really bring things down a little bit, come back to earth a little bit and say, what am I thankful for? And when you bring thankfulness into your life a lot, like the pray without ceasing, you stay in that state of thankfulness all day, this formula is going to be a lot easier to kind of navigate as well. So I love this. Just wanted to share that today. I thought that was perfect. Thank you so much for asking me to do this. And I will definitely keep elaborating. I have a whole Bashar note thing that I took. I don't know how many pages are in it, but there's so many that I've been taking over the years that he just says the most, he's like the best therapist ever. He's like awesome. And he's very harsh, and blunt, but like some of it, like I'll kind of change it up into my own words a little bit. But he is very interesting to listen to. So, and his videos are all over YouTube. So check him out if you guys are interested, because he's interesting for sure. So even if he's not real, whatever the case, the teachings that he brings in are so awesome that, he's inspired me to create my own ways of doing therapy and create my own frameworks and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, just act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability as far as you can take it, with no insistence on the outcome, no matter what, and always investigate your beliefs and check your state. Make sure you're staying in a positive state, because that's where you're creating from in every moment. And the key to that, I feel, once again, is no matter what is happening, it is for my benefit, even though it looks like it might be the opposite. It's still going to benefit me in some way, because that is how my life is, because I say so. That's what I say to myself, and I believe it. And you can do that too. You can brainwash yourself into thinking that way. I mean, I love living that way, and I have so much peace inside myself and so much love and joy, more than I ever have, because I've learned how to properly speak to myself instead of getting angry. I'm not going to say I never get angry. I don't want anybody to think that. I do still feel all the feelings, and I do still go down sometimes and get angry and frustrated, but I let myself feel it for a second. And then I say, nope, remember, everything is benefiting me. I don't need to worry about this. Everything will take care of itself. And then I go to the magical side. That's whenever I surrender over to like the spiritual side of things and say there's a spiritual solution to every problem. So this is when I let go and I surrender. And I know that there is a force greater than myself that will help me take over this. That power is inside me, and it's inside you to create anything that you want. You just have to access it. And you can't access it when you're out of whack. So we've got to start talking to ourselves better, more aligned with how we want to feel versus how we've been so addicted to feeling, and the way that we're used to feeling, the way that's familiar and programmed. We've got to decide, I want to feel this way. I prefer to feel this way instead. And then you're going to start noticing that you just start thinking differently and you start feeling differently because you're turning into a new person, literally. So Bashar is so interesting. Anyway, I could go on, but I'll leave it at that so we keep the video kind of on track. But I've got so much more for you guys that will really, I think, really help you. So, and of course, I like to weave in, like I said, Esther Hicks, Joe Dispenza, like I love, and Neville Goddard, love everybody. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any other suggestions, because man, I love all this stuff. I love it. I'll stop talking. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening or day, whatever time it is when you catch this. Remember, you are so loved. Pass it on to somebody else who needs to hear that. And remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And I'll see you later. Bye.